Steerfoss, and I am the CEO of the Steerfoss Consulting Group. To help you spell my last name, the company is also called SCG Health. We opened our doors in 2011, and we focus our client services on value improvement, revenue cycle management, and strategic planning in this post-health reform world. This presentation will address what you need to know about submitting an informal review, also called an appeal, for the 2016 PQRS penalty, which is on 2018 Medicare receipts. This session, along with many others, is available for free as a video archive on YouTube. SCG Health also offers in-person conferences on many topics, including coding and documentation, compliance, and EMR implementation. Learn more at scghealth.com. One quick legal note: none of the information contained in this presentation should be construed as legal advice. I encourage you to contact counsel if you have any questions regarding state or federal law that apply to the concepts covered in this session. With that, let's get started. I'd like to introduce the faculty member here at SCG Health who's going to talk to us more about the informal review, and that is Ms. Gina Clegg. Gina, why don't you say hi to everybody?
Hi.
So Gina, we're going to walk through a couple things that I know you've been doing intimately with SCG Health clients, specifically in the PQRS penalty. So why don't you tell us a little background about the letters that went out this fall?
Okay. It was, I believe, mid-September, late September, early October. It is possible that you received a letter from CMS letting you know whether or not you were penalized. If you were and you think it's incorrect, we are going to move you through the process of where you can go and what you can do to try to get them to change their minds.
And what's interesting about this letter is to make sure in that third paragraph that it says that there's going to be a decrease in your payments of 2%. This is specifically the PQRS letter, which is the Physician Quality Reporting System. There are another set of letters that went out for something called the Value-Based Modifier, and we're going to cover that in another webinar. So that's a separate set of letters. But we want to make sure that this letter, it will include information, and it will include specific information for you. So let's move on to the next item here, which is where do you go to, if you didn't get the letter, where would you go?
We have a lookup available link right there for you. You can click on that link, and that link will bring up the page that you see where you will need the TIN and the NPI of the provider. You're going to need both, and then you're going to hit the lookup button.
And so, again, just to specify, so eligible professionals under the PQRS program are a TIN NPI unique identifier. So let's say somebody's moonlighting, they have a second job, maybe they came over from another organization. Remember, it's specific to the TIN that you're looking at billing under. There may be multiple TINs for an NPI, but each combination is unique. So we're going to head over to this website. You can check it out. So the way that you need to think about the QualityNet website, so you're going to go to qualitynet.org, and we're going to start off by doing the drop down here of the physician offices, and you'll see that there is a PQRS link. Hit that link, and it's going to head over to another page which has a couple of other links. And so you can read this language here, but we're heading over to this PQRS portal, this website here. So it's over on the far right-hand side, and you're going to click on that link. It will open a new page for you to get over there. I want to make sure that you have the navigation, because sometimes these individual pages will change and be different. And I will say that the QualityNet website oftentimes takes a while to open up. Now, once you get on this page, you'll see over on the left-hand side that there's a PQRS lookup function. That's where we want to go, and we're going to head over there, and again, it's going to open a new page, which is one of the apps for you to do the lookup. And guess what? That's the same lookup that was the picture from before. So here you could look up other type of organizations if you wanted to do for a group practice and you wanted to see if there was that G-Pro reporting, maybe you reported by the TIN. You want to do that, you can look it up there. Also, if you're questioning whether or not there's an ACO involved, you can also look those up. But right now, we're going to focus on the PQRS eligible professional, and as Gina noted, you have to do the TIN and NPI. Once you do that, you can hit the lookup, and it will give you a status. Either folks will have no penalty, and that will say that they are, it's not applicable. So that's what you're looking for, is that the PQRS adjustment is not applicable. I know that makes no sense from the way it's stated, but that's really what it says, is no adjustment. That's a good thing. If there is an adjustment, remember it's a -2, so that's not what you want. So Gina, let's go over to the next part of this aspect. And so that is going into the informal review, which is really nothing more than an appeal. And I'll talk just briefly why they call it an informal review. But why don't you walk us through a little bit of that?
Okay. Once you go in the informal review, you're going to basically re-enter the same information that you've already entered to make sure that your TIN and NPI are matching up with the correct information that you've already submitted to them. You're going to put in your name, your information, your address, basically, you know, how the results are going to get back to you, what's going to happen, how the information is going to get back to you. And then they're going to ask you for what the problem is, and then they're going to ask you for a rationale. And one of the most important things when you're filing these informal reviews is going to be attaching your documentation to prove why they're wrong.
Right. Now, one of the issues with this informal review is that there is no way to do an attachment. So how have we solved that?
We have been using links.
Right. So we posted it on our website, and we then have a link over to it. We have went back and double-checked it and proven that CMS is actually reading our links. So that's a way to get around not being able to do an attachment, is put it on a website. It could be even a Google form or anything else. Just have it so that it's open, maybe not searchable, but have it so it's open. And please, please, please do not have any protected health information, but you can have specific information. Now, one of the other things when you're doing an appeal is that you really have to tell the story. So these informal reviews, you have to tell the story of why the penalty should not be applied. So either you submitted sufficient data and they're not receiving it. So for example, it could be a typographical error that there was an error on either the API or the TIN number, and so that was why. Maybe you submitted partial information, which under the updated 2018 Medicare Physician Fee Schedule is only 6 measures. Maybe they screwed up, and so they're saying, no, you didn't submit enough data. But really, you have to tell that story and tell a compelling reason for them to go in and look at your case. Now, one of the other issues we've ran into is that it's automated on the front end, right? So what happens when you first submit it? What is a very typical result?
You get an automatic feedback that it's there, or you get an automatic rejection that your information is not matching up.
Right. So if you get an automatic rejection, a couple things to look at is, was there a typographical error and you need to submit it with the corrected information, or the other way around? Definitely double check that there's a reason that you get the automated rejection. But if it comes down to you do not agree with that first round of it, please go ahead and call QualityNet. Or you can, in certain instances, we've actually escalated this to the PRIT, which is it's a physician committee that's within CMS. So if you're looking for that information, just contact us and we'll get you over there. But it's one of those double check and make sure that you are able to get this escalated to the right folks. So I'm going to go back to the QualityNet website real quick. And so remember, we were over here when we were doing the lookup. If you go back to this QualityNet webpage, under the communication and support, I know it makes no sense, but this is where it is. Under communication and support, you'll notice that there's an informal review request. It's right there. And here, you're going to hit the PQRS informal review. Let me just go back to show you that again. So right here, informal review request, this area, you're going to hit the PQRS informal review. It will launch another web app, and that's where you're going to start doing your PQRS informal review. This information looks mysteriously the same. You're going to do a TIN and NPI. Once you enter that, you'll hit submit, and it'll walk you through the first demographic portion of how you get your contact information over to them, as Gina mentioned, and then it goes into actually telling the reason that you're submitting the informal review. Why do you actually need to not have any penalty applied to you? So any final concepts or comments that you'd like to talk about, Gina?
If anything, my thing would be make sure you submit that documentation. Make sure that documentation is there. Set up the links. They do look, they do verify, they do make sure. they have 90 days once you have submitted the review to actually make a decision on the review, and you have until December the 1st to get your review submitted.
And what time is that due?
Thinking of 5 p.m.?
No, it's 8 p.m.
It is 8 p.m.
8 p.m. Eastern time. You can't game the time zones. It's 8 p.m. Eastern time on December 1st. That's your deadline. The earlier you submit it, the more likely you're going to get an answer back prior to the deadline. Also, if you need to escalate it, we highly recommend that you get it in early just because of that. So just a quick explanation about the informal review. The reason that these are called informal reviews and not appeals is that appeal is a true legal term, and there are certain rights and responsibilities that apply to appeal. Because it's an informal review, there are no rights and responsibilities that apply to this. There's no, overturns, there's no second appeals, there's no ALJs. So CMS loves using non-legal terms for that reason, so that there are certain non-aspects or non-rights that come out of using these different administrative functionalities. So that really is what we wanted to cover on the PQRS informal review. Again, the deadline is December 1st at 8 p.m. Eastern. If you have any questions, this video will be out on our YouTube location, along with our handouts will be posted on scghealth.com. And so we'd highly recommend that you check out our website so that you can find more information about this and other items. We hope you've enjoyed this presentation. For those of you watching the video archive, please remember to rate this video. To receive notices about upcoming Gimme 15-minute programs or other educational sessions, please sign up at scghealth.com. And that little location right here is sign up for the blog. It's on the top of every page. Highly recommend that you do that. So thank you for joining me and Gina Clegg for this 15-minute education program. This concludes the presentation.